everybody, it's Alisa Marie here. Hi my sweet lifers. Listen, today on Sweet Life DIY, I'm going to show you how to take those bunnies and turn them into those bunnies. And for those of you following me on Instagram, a couple of weeks back, I pulled all my bunnies down, and so many of them had broken ears and little noses that needed to be painted up. But I never throw them away. I just keep on keeping on. And so this year I thought it would be really kind of fun to show you how to take those guys and really show you how to actually do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is the easy one, and it's this little bunny right here. And so all you need to do is just go to a local Hobby Lobby or a craft store, find yourself a bunny, preferably all white without a whole lot of decorations on it, and then you can paint inside the ear with either a Sharpie and then go back over it with a paintbrush and some black paint. But what's nice about it is that when you do it with a white bunny, you don't have to go back and paint the white because you already have the white there, obviously. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to paint with the Sharpie pen and draw this line in. Okay, so basically you saw me do that. You take the Sharpie, you do the checkerboard pattern. You also saw me go through a ton of Sharpies, whatever. I'm gonna have to go buy some more of those, but anyway. And then you take paint, get a small brush, and you saw me paint them in, and you do them in a staggered pattern so that you end up with a checkerboard. The last and final thing that you're gonna do for this particular bunny is you will take the Sharpie pen, and if your bunny doesn't have an eye, I like to put a little dot there and a little dot there, just so there is an eye. As you can see, I've done with this finished one. They just look better to have a little eye on there. And then over at Costco, they've got this gorgeous lemon pound cake, and that's where this ribbon came from. They tied up that with that little gross grain check. So I'm gonna actually go back over and pick another one up before Easter because the kids went through that lemon pound cake just like that lickety split. So I'll probably pick up one in a pink or in a yellow or maybe even in a lime green. So this one, that's how you do that. And now I'm going to show you how to do this other one. Now this other one is a little bit more complicated. In that you've got to use a bunch of different paints and you've got to get flowers established. So you can see here what I've done. I've gone in and I've done first a little kind of a rose hot pink, and then I've done another light pink, and then I've dotted it with yellow dots. And then on the leaves, I've done two different colors of green because that gives it some depth. And then finally at the end, I did a stripe on the ear, and then I did tie a little checkerboard, because if you're going to have these guys kind of positioned all around each other, having a checkerboard bow on this bunny near this bunny with the checkerboard ear helps everything flow together design-wise. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to do a little bit of that, and then I'm going to give you a home tour, because I promised you guys that too. We'll probably do that on another episode. But anyway, here's how you get started with this one. You just go in and get yourself, I found out how to do this in art school. It's really easy to do this. If you start painting on something and you have to get away from it and you need to come back to it later, the easiest way to keep your paint is to just slide that plastic plate or paper plate or styrofoam plate into a Ziploc bag, and it'll keep your paints moist. This is what I did yesterday, and you see it's still wet enough for me to get this done for you guys today. So first things first is I want to make a little bit of the pink that I did and put that down as the very first of the flower. And what I'm going to do, so as not to bore you to tears, is I'm actually going to make one flower, and then I'm going to do one ear, and then you guys know what this looks like. So I won't have to time lapse or do anything crazy. We can just do this really fast. So as you see on this bunny, there's like a little discoloration. And that's one of the reasons why I selected these bunnies to actually go to the bunny hospital this year, because there's some stuff that needs to happen to them. They need to be worked on a little bit so that they look their best. And so what you do is you do 5 little circles. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then dot it in the middle. okay? Come in with another brush and get a little bit of the light pink, okay? And do a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Pick up some more. I'm gonna need to make more of this, I can see already, but y'all get the gist of it. You want to just create a depth of field. When you add a little bit of color on top of color, it blends and it looks more realistic, like a little tiny flower there. The next thing is I'm going to take my green. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did before. I'm going to take the darker green and I'm going to paint a little leaf here with a little kind of point at the end. And you want to sort of alternate what directions you go in. You don't want them to all be the same direction. That way it'll look more realistic. Another one here. And another one there. All right, now the next step is to take the same green and add a little white so that you're in the same tonality. You've got the same shade. Don't go and get an olive green and try to put it with this green. Don't get a grass green and try to put it with this green. It won't look good. Dilute this down with your white, or if you wanted to make it darker, if you know a different project, obviously, then you would put it with black. But that way you're staying in the same tonality. And then you just come in and do a little flick there, and do a little flick there, do a little flick there, do a little flick there and there, and finally do a little flick here and here, right? And then at the very end, you get a little itty bitty brush with a point on it, okay? Because you want to make your dots for your flower. And you go in here, and what I've done is I've also diluted it so it's more of a lemon yellow as opposed to a bright yellow, because that's going to be more natural. And you just go dot, 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 okay? So there's your flower. And then this bunny doesn't have to have a cotton ball stuck on its Heineken because it didn't lose its tail. But as you can see on the one I finished, she fell, and at some point she actually lost her butt. So I just glued with a hot glue gun a cotton ball to her. The next thing is the ears. Easy. Same situation like we just did with these big guys over here. All you gotta do is come in, make a decision how you want the ears to be. You come in here and you can do it with a Sharpie if the Sharpies will work. I really am going to have to go order another case of Sharpies. But anyway, and as we can hear William now coming to the party. Okay, so now we're going to do this little ear. So the way that we do the ear is you take this and go along the outside edge. And you can do another checkerboard if you wanted to, and then put a pink ribbon around his neck. I mean, it's whatever you want to do. But because I like all of my stuff to match, and I've already done the other one, this is what I did. So I went and I did one line down this side, and I did one line down this side, leaving that pink that was already there on this bunny. And then I came in with the black, and I painted very carefully. Get some of the paint off of that brush. Very carefully painted this in on the ends. So he's got like a little stripe thing happening on the insides of his ears. Because I didn't want checkerboard ears and checkerboard ribbon. That's just too much checkerboard. The other thing that's nice about this is let's just assume that maybe 5 years down the road, because these bunnies are about 24 years old. I remember getting these bunnies before, right around the time that my daughter was born. So these have been in our family for a very long time, and they've been needing to be repaired for a very long time. But I didn't have a YouTube channel, and I just, wasn't thinking about it. I just sit it out every year and just keep shooting children and not worry about it. But this year, because I've got the YouTube channel and I knew what I was going to do with them, I thought some of you guys that are following me might be interested. And actually, several of you who are already here seeing me for photos told me so. So I am doing this specifically for you guys, just to give you an idea of what can be done. But what could also be done is, let's just assume another few years have gone down the road. I could come back in here and paint all this black, and then paint a hot pink checkerboard, and then change out the bow. So there's all kinds of options you've got. You can always paint. Paint is really forgiving. as you can see. Okay, and then one more little last dot right there. And then I went ahead when I did the when I did the ribbon on the sister rabbit, which is this one here. When I did it on this bunny, I measured out what bow size I needed to get that perfect size bow for their head. And see, this particular bunny had a discoloration on her ear. And so that's why there's two flowers here, is so that there would be that covered up. It's just wonderful whenever you're able to reuse your decorations that way. So I've got my ribbon here, and I've already pre-measured where it goes and how much we need it in length to get it the exact same size around this bunny's neck. And once I get done painting all of those, she'll look just like this. And that's how you do it. It's just really easy. You know, I mean, just take a couple of minutes, think about what your design's going to look like for your room or for your little corner in space. And you can do the same thing. You can turn these little bunnies that are store-bought brand new into something outstanding for your home and different that's unique to you. The other thing is that you can fix them, which is the most important for me, because I hate having to go and buy. Plus, you know, these bunnies have memories for our family. I mean, I remember when the kids were really little, and these guys have been out every year for years and years. So it's just one more way of enjoying them for years to come. I hope you guys have found some value in this. If you did, do me a favor, like and share. Don't forget to ring the bell, and we'll see you soon on another episode. Take care.